Okay, so next up, I made some changes to the green-white +1/+1 counters deck. Namely, Topiary Stomper has been kind of interesting, and Elspeth Resplendent has been kind of interesting, especially with Topiary Stomper. I'm still somewhat uncertain whether this deck actually, like, accelerates to 7 mana fast enough for Topiary Stomper, and whether that's worth it over playing Wedding Announcement. I'm also uncertain whether Luminarch Aspirant is worth playing over other 2-drop options. Gallagher was something I was really tempted by because it synergizes well with Kodama of the West Tree. But so does Luminarch Aspirant. And it's kind of awkward that, like, Gallagher's making a treasure doesn't actually let it ramp into 4-drops, which is, like, what this deck's entire curve is about. So, I don't know. But I'm pretty interested in the idea of just getting to play, like, 8 Yasharns post-board. Which, I mean, there are a lot of decks right now whose removal package is based around sacrificing stuff that just go, like, hyper all-in on the Obnixilis plan. And Yasharn is pretty excellent against those. But it's fun. This looks like a thing where Broker's Ascendancy would be a neat thing. Yeah, I think Broker's Ascendancy probably isn't worth splashing blue, especially because this mana base, as it stands, with the Yasharns and the Topiary Stompers and the Emergent Sequences, is, like, hyper restrictive on the basics. But even then, I'm not actually sure if Broker's Ascendancy is that much better than just playing Wedding Announcement. I guess it's maybe better with the 5-drop Planeswalkers, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, let's continue. I think Storm is pretty bad most of the time. I'd rather Titan of Industry. In a lot of decks, that's true. I think that one of the places where it is the least true, and where Storm is significantly better, is decks that are playing Felidar Retreat. And this deck is most definitely turbo playing Felidar Retreat. Okay, turn 2 Florahedron, turn 3 Chariot, turn 4 Wrenn and Seven is, I have been told, a somewhat decent curve out. So we'll see about making that a plan. There are 2 Elspeths in this. They have been kind of excellent so far. The ability to give your giant 10-power Wrenn and 7 tokens lifelink gives this deck so much survivability against, like, Obnixilis decks that it kind of lacked without Elspeth. I have not tried any Shigeki control lists yet, no. I really want Growth Spiral in that deck, and I'm not really sure how to accelerate it fast enough without that. Esika's Chariot. Oh, opponent. How am I supposed to match your curve out when you're, like, sitting around making me be on the draw? This is so awkward. Copper Dream. Thanks for the follow. Glad you're enjoying the stream. I assume by the Shigeki thing you mean Shigeki with Endless Detour. Do you have a stable deck currently you like to run? Not really. I have pretty much tried my hand at more or less everything. You gonna attack with the Kessig Naturalist to try to get a land opponent? Okay, so I definitely can't fire up Esika's Chariot. Oh. Sweet. Look at the opponent thinking I care about Obnixilis at all. That's adorable.
My goons will make quick work of you.
Nah, I'm good. I got plenty of life.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Alright, let's go ahead and kill that Chariot.
Join me or die.
No thanks, I got plenty of life.
Go ahead. Plead for mercy.
Alright. Wrenn. Make a token. Now let's go ahead and kill the original ob. Why not? I assume the opponent's still blocking anyway. Yeah. Pings down the Tangled Florahedron, which makes my Storm of the Festival a little weaker. Oh. Pings down Wrenn? Why? How are you going to kill Wrenn from one loyalty opponent? I guess sack this devil? Somehow?
Oh, I have a job for you. Defy me.
I will decline.
And you'll lose everything.
I will decline.
Go ahead. Plead for mercy.
Outland Liberator. Okay, blows up Esika's Chariot. So you didn't end up killing the Wrenn at all. Yeah? I feel like you probably should have killed the Florahedron in that case, opponent. If I'm being entirely honest. Alright, well, let's go ahead and storm the festival then. I do like more chariots. I guess I should have attacked with Chariot first, if that was going to be the game plan. But making a bunch of 2/2s is nice. So the awkward thing here with grabbing Chariot or Wrenn is that I do sort of want to get up to 10 mana. Oh, we hit the Elspeth. That's pretty inconvenient. I have one more Elspeth that I can hit off a Storm in the Festival. Like, giving one of my 5/5s lifelink is the easy way to win this game. Otherwise, I might just die to Ob Nixilis plus a pile of chump blockers. Well, let's go ahead and be aggressive then.
Symbiosis is harmony, and harmony is strength. Heed the trees. They prepare for war.
They blow up the Chariot. Sure. Attack original and higher loyalty. Opponent double chump blocks. Sure. We still have 2 blockers. Once again, they should ping down the Florahedron. Are they going to ping down the Wrenn instead? No, they do go for my face. Okay, so this is a point at which I am pretty incentivized to start discarding cards to the Ob Nixilis.
Go sow some chaos. By coin or carnage. Tribute is owed. Your punishment is my entertainment.
Alright, well, now what do you do, opponent? Bulky. No, my Yasharn! I needed that for getting additional cards. I guess the nice part is that Wrenn and Seven does draw a lot of physical cards. Alright, hey, more chariots, cool. Alright, well, let's go ahead and uptick Wrenn and Seven a little bit. Oh, hey, cool. I love drawing 4 cards. That makes Ob Nixilis a lot more embarrassing, doesn't it? Alright, well, let's go hunting for some obs. So in this case, I would like to punch an ob, and punch an ob, and punch an ob, and punch an ob. And I guess hold back with the other one. This means I'm guaranteed to kill 1 ob. I guess I'm actually better off swinging with the 5/5s because they don't die. And I hold back 2. I guess if I swing all out like this, I'm guaranteed to kill 2 obs. I should probably just take being guaranteed to kill 2 obs. Okay. 1 devil down. Does the opponent decide to ping my Florahedron down at long last? Nope. They just keep trying to kill me. Okay. Well. Now I must ask myself the question... Is it correct to play this Cave of the Frost Dragon, or hold up a Lair of the Hydra for 1 to block? Probably more correct to play Cave of the Frost Dragon. I guess I could have played that land before combat to make my 6/6s, or my 5/5s into 6/6s. But also probably unnecessary. Oh, hey, cool. Wow, my opponent activated an Onyxalis like 20 times and it didn't matter. What a completely unforeseen circumstance that has never happened to me before every time I've played against Ob ever. I'm not sure if I've lost against Onyxalis yet, actually. Let's see. I probably don't want Luminarch Aspirant on the draw. I probably want a bunch more Yasharns. And then I have the rest of the sideboard that I haven't figured out what I'm doing with yet. Are any of these cards good? I guess Wandering Emperor, like, technically gains life? I mean, I guess Luminarch Aspirant blocks. That's sort of valuable. I don't know. Whatever. Emperor does get a tiny bit worse when we already have, like, 12 good 4-drops, doesn't it? At some point, we have to think about our capacity to play 2 spells in 1 turn. This is not an exciting hand, but it is an interesting hand. We are going to prefer drawing a white source eventually. Okay. Lair of the Hydra, admittedly not the white source or untapped 4th land we were looking for. And Prosperous Innkeeper also not that. It's very tempting to jam the Luminarch Aspirant here and put a counter on the Prosperous Innkeeper, but I'm probably just supposed to accept my lumps this turn and then play Yasharn next turn to make my land drop. I guess I get to play Yasharn and Luminarch Aspirant next turn, which is probably cool. I could just double block this Kessig Naturalist, actually. Is that what I'm supposed to do? Do I want to lose this Tangled Florahedron when I have a Storm in the Festival? Nah, we're good. Yeah, see, because Chariot's big. That could be a problem eventually. Only 1 white source makes Elspeth kind of awkward. Do I want to play Tangled Florahedron to have more mana? Or Luminarch Aspirant to have something be bigger? Scariest thing that could happen is Jund Charm making me sacrifice Yasharn. I think I go for Luminarch Aspirant because if they Jund Charm making me sack Yasharn, I still have Storm the Festival next turn anyway. And this at least gives me a better block on Kessig Naturalist with the Innkeeper. Actually, would I rather have the Innkeeper to gain life than the Luminarch Aspirant? No. Do I want to put a counter on Yasharn? Plays around double bolt. Gives me a better block on Chariot. It doesn't because of Stormseeker. I don't know. I think I might be putting all my eggs in one basket too much by pumping Yasharn here and not playing enough around Charm. But I think this is by far the best if they have anything other than Charm. Because it forces them to pump Stormseeker on Chariot instead of Stormseeker on something else. Oh, is this the part where they try to play Ob Nixilis and realize they can't sack something to play Ob Nixilis? I think that might be the part of the game that we are at. Casualty is, in fact, a cost. Yeah, I'm not really interested in trading, but I guess I'm not actually, like, super interested in taking 5 damage either. So I guess I can trade Prosperous Innkeeper for that. Valky, God of Lies. Not my Florahedron! Oh no! Okay. Anyway, let's play Storm of the Festival and see what happens. A Wrenn and a Plains works for me. I mean, it could certainly be more interesting, but it gives us Elspeth, which I still can't say. My mouth, like, tries to say the resplendent part of Elspeth. Bleh. Alright, well now I have 2 things that are bigger than their Esika's Chariot, which is probably good. No, my Elspeth! What a whirl. Okay, we didn't take the Elspeth. Opponent doesn't realize lifelink is a big deal, apparently. Outland Liberator, in fact, does not answer Chariot because of Yasharn, so that's pretty amusing. Innkeeper would have refunded half of that 5 life when he played Chariot. You're not wrong. But, like, taking 5 damage is scary, though. Discards the Chariot. So, they didn't actually play Artifact Hate, right? Because the you have to sacrifice the 2-drop in order to blow up an artifact, which means if Yasharn is in play, you just can't do that. True. If it was night, then they would actually have a line. But that would require me to allow it to be night, and that did not look like it was likely to happen anytime soon. Alright. We are going to mulligan in search of hands with more land. This is keepable-ish. I don't want to throw away a land. I probably am supposed to throw away a Storm the Festival. I'm really tempted to just throw away Kodama. Am I on the play or the draw? I have no clue. Kodama's a little better if I'm on the play than if I'm on the draw. You know what? Let's just be cool. I'm a cool guy. We're just going to keep ramping 2 Storm in the Festivals. Run the play. Yeah. Hey! Literally never punished even once in my entire life. I mean, we didn't draw a 2-drop that actually synergizes with Kodama, so, like, it doesn't mean anything. But, still. Elspeth is kind of cool. We will fetch a white source for that. We are going to need to draw more lands, though. I would like 1 more land. Oh! Look at that. It's a downright Stomper mirror. You want to let me trade... You sure? Oh, I can't block. Right. No! I mean, it's good that it was a land, but it wasn't tapped. I wish it wasn't tapped. I wanted to downtick Elspeth and get a land, and then have Elspeth die to the Bankbuster. Alright. here's the plan. We hit an untapped land, we play Storm the Festival, we hit a land, and a thingy. No, deck. We were so close.
I'll light your way on these steps.
So I could downtick Elspeth looking for a land. We could uptick Elspeth on Kodama, giving it lifelink, forcing the trade. It's gonna get trampled no matter what. Trading is kind of cool. Yeah. Let's go ahead and just give Kodama lifelink.
Let's do this together.
I've got 2 Storm of the Festivals and a 6th land in hand. I mostly just want to prevent the opponent from killing me. And this feels like the best route to that. First Strike does kind of force them to do some awkward stuff, but with Reckoner Bankbuster and Esika's Chariot and Stomper and Cats in play, I'm actually a little worried that they would just take the damage, let me ramp, and then kill me on the backswing. I don't think there's any risk of that if I gain the 4 life. Ooh, alright. Wrenn and Seven having delightfully rewarded me for killing the Chariot, by which I mean them not blocking with the cats. Yeah, so they do kill the Elspeth.
This still isn't as bad as dying.
Felidar Retreat. Would have preferred to have hit that off Storm the Festival. Stomper, Aspirant. Okay. Well, we get to trade with the Wrenn token. It's moderately useful. Not the most useful, though. I haven't played with it yet, but isn't the Stomper a bit slow? It can be. It definitely can be. But it is also a rampant growth, and when we're a Felidar Retreat deck, that matters a lot. More things that turn into land triggers is a big deal. Yeah. That's a lot of kitty cats. So I could play Felidar Retreat here, and then a land and make a 2/2, and like try to survive, but I feel like I'm falling behind pretty fast at that point. Or I could Storm the Festival and see what happens. I guess I'm probably supposed to Storm the Festival and see what happens. Elspeth's pretty cool. Land's also pretty cool.
I'm not looking for trouble, but I'll fight.
Do I want to downtick Elspeth? Probably. I could give Topiary Stomper first strike, but they're probably going to have removal at this point in the game now that they finally hit land drops. So let's just, I don't know, find a Topiary Stomper with an Elspeth downtick, ideally.
This is
Failing
nice.
that, we could find a
I'm
land.
going to protect it.
I don't believe I've played a land yet this turn. So I think I'm going to go with Pathway, Land, Retreat. And I guess just hope I don't die is the game plan. Not interested in trading my Topiary Stomper with one Chariot, I don't think. 5 mana to play a land and put a Planeswalker into play, though. That land actually matters a bit, or quite a bit, because it is the 10th land for Storm the Festival. But unfortunately, most of our deck's ability to accelerate out of control is related to the opponent not having a board state that invalidates all of our attacks. So that's kind of awkward, because they do have a board state that invalidates all of our attacks. Willing to make a sacrificial attack with Chariot just to get a 7/7? Probably a correct decision. Presuming attacks with 2 kitty tokens as well. Or maybe actually everything at face. Everything at face might be more correct. I'm definitely going to struggle to come back from this, but maybe we hit like a Esika's Chariot plus Topiary Stomper off a Storm in the Festival, and then also have a land drop. I believe I'm probably supposed to get rid of a Esika's Chariot. I'm a little concerned by the fact that they probably just have another Chariot here, so killing this Chariot doesn't accomplish much. Oh. Or I could be getting completely memed on, which makes my life a little trickier. That's not going to do it. Not a lot of my creatures here are actually particularly good, which is concerning. I'm basically just going to have to get off to a pretty accelerated start. This feels like a game that's going to be mostly all about who kind of snowballs out of control to begin with. Okay, this is not a particularly great starting hand against what is likely to be removal having been boarded in, but okay. I would like to draw lands. We definitely want to draw lands. It would be ideal to draw lands. No! Truly, it'd be the mirror. Oh, yeah, me grabbing the white source for Wandering Emperor really hurt when my opponent, or when my next draw was Topiary Stomper, huh? Alright, that's a bummer. I don't think, like, playing the Topiary Stomper as the out there was reasonable. Like, I don't think we're in a position to win this game, even if I had gotten a forest for the Topiary Stomper. So playing towards drawing something that, like forest for Esika's Chariot into Wandering Emperor was definitely, I think, better. But yeah, we are definitely very, 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 very far behind. Kodama, where have you been up until now? Alright, well, that's basically a land drop. No, my Kodama! My beautiful, beautiful rampant growth. I have, like, literally no way to recover from this. Yeesh. Can I avoid dying somehow here? I don't believe the answer is yes. Diamond Industry, okay. That's mean. Remember how I said this match was basically going to be decided by who did something first? I think we have hit a point at which I have unfortunately failed to do something first. I don't think Storm the Festival's gonna get it this time around. Ooh, that was actually a good Storm in the Festival hit for once, though. Unfortunately, still not good enough. But if we got in a Storm in the Festival hit like that last game... all the things that could have been. Alright, so we block it to here, block it to here, block it to here. I believe that's the maximum mana damage that I can prevent. Which leaves us only taking 11. No, wait, I want to say good game. Oh, okay. No, not the most, encouraging of ability to play my deck, huh? Alright. 2-drop ramp spell into Esika's Chariot continues to be the primary plan of the deck. I have no intention of shying away from that. Oh, I'm totally going to get Jwari Disruption, aren't I? I can feel it. Opponent, you have successfully put the coward in me. No attacks. You want to Jwari Disruption this Tangled Florahedron, opponent? So that I'm safer when I go for Storm the Festival next turn? Thank you. At least my Farewell Senses still work. Okay. So let's go with... you know what? Let's play around Syncopate. Cool. Successfully played around Syncopate. Is there a world in which I should unattack? Oh, wow, Void Rend? Cool, I don't care about that at all. Goodness gracious, opponent. 3 mana to kill an Esika's Chariot? That just doesn't feel good, does it? Perhaps not main phasing this Storm the Festival is the coward's way. But hey, if my opponent wants to kill a cat rather than using Obscura Charm to counter my Storm the Festival, then I'm going to call that me having my anti-control senses still tingling at full volume. Ooh, Yasharn. I probably just want a land drop, honestly. Boop. Boop. Play land drops. Alright, let's see. We have 8 mana in play, 9th mana to be played, so we are not casting Storm of the Festival from the graveyard next turn. Wait, do I kill them? I might kill them. I'm not going to bother doing the math. Let's just see what happens if I try to kill them. I mean, they could march this Lair. They can probably march the Lair. That's fine by me. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. They are still down to 3. So now they have to farewell.
We will meet again.
I guess any board wipe works. Farewell's just the most sad. Oh, cool. That doesn't blow up my Storm in the Festival that's in the graveyard. Well, let's cast more Storm in the Festivals. Ooh, hey, look at all these 5-mana Planeswalkers. That sounds cool. So what if we were to downtick Elspeth, looking for... Oh yeah, Topiary Stomper sounds great. And it's indestructible? Cool. Alright, and then let's also make another Wrenn, just so that Unsummon alone doesn't do it. And yeah, alright. That felt like a good use of 6 mana. Poor control opponent. Yeah, how are we answering? We're not. Okay. Good talk. Alright. Control opponent, control opponent, control opponent. So we are going to cut Yasharns and a Topiary Stomper for some additional threats. And we're going to call that good. Same rules as ever apply. We're going to keep hands that have lands, ramp spells, and expensive spells. So hands that don't have lands get mulliganed, and hands that don't have lands get mulliganed, and hands that don't have lands get mulliganed, but hands that have lands get keeped. So I guess we're just gonna... Emergent Sequence is probably worse than Tangled Florahedron against a deck that has... What's the name of the thing I'm thinking of? March? I'd rather than march Tangled Florahedron for 3 rather than marching my land for 1? That's what I meant. Alright, you should tap out for something that doesn't interact at all, opponent. Or Vanishing Verse, that means that it doesn't hit the Felidar Retreat. That's cool. Alright. Well, I have the opening and the capacity to get in for 1 with Lair of the Hydra, so that feels correct to do. Opponent passes. We play Felidar Retreat, because it might force the opponent to do something. Void Wrenn, most likely. Nothing. Oh wow, I love when my opponent doesn't do anything at all. Now Void Wrenn? March for 4. Okay. Top deck on tap land, play Wrenn? Nope. 'Twas just too good to be true. Ooh, alright. Make Kitty. Elspeth? Bait the Jawari Disruption? So that my Wrenn that is card advantage actually resolves? Oh, 4 negate. That works too. Cool. Well, opponent's kind of flooding out. Devastating Mastery? Oh no. Anyway. Just gonna sit here upticking Wrenn for a little bit. Make some land drops, mill some cards, threatened ultimate Wrenn until they find a removal spell. They'll probably find a removal spell. Emeria's Call. Well, that's not a removal spell at all. Fancy that. How do we want to do this? I probably just have to downtick this and hope they don't have a removal spell for the creature that it makes. I mean, it does have reach, which helps protect Wrenn. This might indicate that they have a creature-only board wipe and just want to lose... Make me lose the Planeswalker, rather.
I have other groves to tend.
But, I mean, I have a Felidar Retreat in play. That bit's pretty cool. Okay. It's kind of a weird choice to animate the Cave of the Frost Dragon here. But my rationale is that this looks like they are trying to have a removal spell, and I'd rather them remove the cave than the Lair, because the Lair is better if I have nothing else. Or my opponent will just actually have nothing and be at a very precarious life total. That works too. Oh, I messed up though. I should have animated a Lair for 1. That actually is pretty meaningful. If I animated the Lair for 1, it would have gotten a +1/+1 counter just then. And would mean that for 1 mana I could animate it to be lethal. The Teferi means that map well, actually it does still apply. Yeah. So the fact that the Lair isn't lethal this turn is entirely because of that mistake. Should I even bother animating the Lair here? I think the answer to that is no. I could swing it to Fairy, I guess. So let's assume there's a world in which they have an answer for March trade. Yeah, it's worth it to swing it to Fairy in that case. Yeah, pretty big deal. I think I would be guaranteed to have lethal here if I could swing this Lair for 3 at their face. But killing the Teferi is still useful. Yeah, there's the verse for the cave. Now they need a march. Okay, they don't have the march. So not incredibly punished for my mistakes. Just the usual regret. Alright, we will not be keeping hands without lands. We will be keeping hands that have lands. I am not interested in Innkeeper if I can have Florahedron instead. Good time to draw Lair of the Hydra. We don't have much to ramp into off this Florahedron, which is a good thing because it's dead. Alright, Kodama. We don't have a lot of 4-drops we can top deck into that actually put counters on Kodama, unfortunately. So, well, we could just top deck nothing. That works. I wonder if I shouldn't have actually opened myself to March on the Lair. Probably shouldn't have. It's an unfortunate 1-mana instant speed time walk. Yeah. This one we probably shall not be winning. Yasharn helps. That is a card that matters. Draws us cards. Has big body. That is good. That is good. Let's see, let's see, let's see. So if I uptick the Wrenn, it does wind up dying to the Wandering Emperor plus Lolth. If I swing with Yasharn... if I was debating swinging with Yasharn, I should have done that before playing the Wrenn. So now they get to block with more information. Downticking makes it real easy for them to kill Wrenn with any removal spell. Maybe I'm just supposed to uptick for card advantage? Yeah. Alright, I regret having given them more information here, but I do think upticking Wrenn and swinging at Wandering Emperor was the best option. Double block? Oh, really? Huh. That makes it a lot more acceptable for me to downtick Wrenn then. I do not think they should have double blocked. Soul Shatter kill the Wrenn. Oh, And leave me with the token? Opponent, you shouldn't have. You really, really shouldn't have. Alright, well. I like token to die.
Do what I demand.
Play a Chariot. I think it's actually a little stronger than Storm the Festival in a spot like this, where it's threatening to copy the other token. Sorin. Okay. Well, I don't mind that very much. So Sorin, Pony, you are, like, definitely supposed to be down-ticking.
You wish to know my secrets.
My will cannot be denied.
You kind of needed that blocker, right?
We've got the edge in this fight.
Huh. Okay, well, let's play around Jwari Disruption. I do like Yasharn and Cave. Get more land drops in hand, because why not? Grew up with Yasharn. So let's see, we have... Swing at Sorin, swing at Loth, swing at Wandering Emperor. Opponent gets to save 2 of them. 2 have to be via chump blocks. If I want to guarantee one of these dies, I guess the one I want to guarantee that dies is Loth. So now they do the march on the 8/8. Bummer. I wonder if I'm supposed to make a copy of the cat there, actually. Wow, opponent just willing to let 2 of their planeswalkers die. I gotta be honest, I'm kind of disagreeing with like nearly every choice they're making. I guess I don't know the contents of their hand, but I don't know what they could have that would make them not want to save planeswalkers.
Call for dire tactics.
Sure, Wandering Emperor, down tick on Yasharn. Portable Hole, a 2/2. Trade Wandering Emperor off. Protect your Sorin? I mean, I guess.
Your blood will...
See you later.
Play a creature as a threat. Somehow,
Blood for
I'm still actually, like, functionally out card drawing them, and I'm not entirely sure how that's happening. Ooh, Felidar Retreat sounds like a lot of fun. Elspeth also sounds like a lot of fun. Sorin, how much loyalty are you at? 4? So if I give Kodama first strike, they have to double block it. 2 damage doesn't mean very much. But they don't have any creature lands, so I think that probably still checks out. Do I actually want the Felidar Retreat in that case at all, though? Yeah, I probably still do. I could down-tick the Elspeth instead of up-ticking. Nah, that leaves it dead to the 4/4 on the way back. Nah.
Show him what you got.
Tragedy befalls us all.
Okay, I guess they want to kill my Elspeth more than they want to keep... I guess if they have a removal spell for Kodama, that attack makes sense. If they have a removal spell for Kodama in hand. Maybe? I really don't understand not protecting the Sorin, though, but... Okay.
The city's tearing
Doing nothing? Meaning they have Wandering Emperor, but forgot Felidar Retreat gives Vigilance, I guess? Oh, did I have lethal? I don't think I had lethal. No, it was only 11. March, okay. Forest, for a creature, and Emergent Sequence for a forest, and a forest for a creature.
You'll never see me coming.
I am going to... I think this has to be because they want to draw a card, but I'm not willing to risk that they have Wandering Emperor in hand and uptick on that to kill my Kodama. I kind of need the trample pretty badly.
Now this is a
I'm just not quite willing to risk it. My life total is so irrelevant, and I'm probably going to either win or lose this game next turn, so... I believe it to be not worth the risk. Oop. Looking for a March Forest, chump block, take 8, go to 1. Oh, not even, because Kodama has first strike. So I get to pump the other creatures. Oh, that's adorable. Oh, the first strike synergies in this deck I hadn't even thought of. I don't even think that probably was Secret Reach. But I don't even think that it was. I think that they might have just been desperate to draw with Kaido. I guess no, they would have been better off keeping a blocker. Yeah, probably Secret Reach. But I still don't think that it's worth actually taking it. I think we were out of lands. I think we might have had one more in the deck, if I recall correctly. But yeah, it was pretty close. Pretty close. Alright, so definitely 2 Wandering Emperors. What's the other one for? I would guess Topiary Stomper, probably? I don't know. Is Topiary Stomper... I feel like Topiary Stomper is actually probably pretty good against Wandering Emperor, so maybe I'm not supposed to cut it? Although it is slow. Prosperous Innkeepers, meh. Luminarch Aspirant's probably fine. Do I have any acceptable cuts? It's probably Kodama. But yeah, having a first strike counter on creatures with Kodama of the West Tree feels a lot like... no, this looks fine. Certainly got a lot of creature lands, which are nice. Feels a lot like playing Drana. With first strike, put a counter on all of your creatures that... And then the ones that didn't have first strike wind up getting pumped before they do damage. I'm not going to play the Emergent Sequence here to play around the... March. I can remember March's name. I can definitely totally remember March's name. Okay. Topiary Stomper. Get some lands. We get to play Storm in the Festival next turn if the opponent taps out for whatever reason. Or the opponent can Doomscar instead. That's fine by me too. Topiary Stomper. More lands. Luminarch Aspirant. Counters on... I guess on Luminarch Aspirant, so that if my opponent plays untapped land into Lolth, I can have a 4/4 and a 3/3 attacking the Lolth. But looks like that is not on the menu. Should I attack? Should I Storm in the Festival here? Pre-combat? I don't think that it's worth the risk of doing it pre-combat. I could just Topiary Stomper. I think this results in the opponent not playing the Wandering Emperor, which probably results in me not playing Storm in the Festival. Can I accept that? I don't think that I can accept that. Maybe I can accept that? I guess I can accept that. I wonder if that means I should have attacked with Lair of the Hydra? Or probably more like Cave of the Frost Dragon. Now there's the Wandering Emperor. You want a down tick on my tapped forest opponent?
I've learned much during my travels. Let me show you.
You wanted to uptick?
Strike fast and strike
Okay.
hard.
Because now you're going to board wipe and then you're going to down tick? Okay. That's fair. Farewell. Sure. This is why we held on to storm the festival.
Guards, to me.
Could kill Wandering Emperor here. With Cave of the Frost Dragon. Does that feel correct to do? No. Yes. Probably. We're not gonna. Elspeth. Elspeth Esika's Chariot.
I'm not looking for
Seems
trouble,
good.
but I'll fight if I have to.
I like that idea. Do I start trying to represent upticking Elspeth into an angel? I don't think so.
May your peace last.
Katilda with protection from board wipes sounds cool, though. Deck status incredibly thin. The problem with making a dragon and then attacking the Wandering Emperor is that my opponent just like plays a follow-up Lolth. And I think that's probably too strong. I think I'm willing to just trade with a cat here. Firing up Esika's Chariot is a little risky, because I don't have good blocks after I fire it up. Alright, so I can give something flying. I could play Storm the Festival into Dry Disruption or Negate. That does not sound like an option I want to take. So I don't think we're going to. I think I like the idea of pumping stuff with Katilda, but I probably don't. Do I want to give an opening to March to my opponent, though? I think we're actually going to wind up giving Katilda flying.
Let's do this.
Maybe Vigilance is better? Probably flying. I think this is the least likely to fail at killing Wandering Emperor and the most likely to do the maximum amount of damage to my opponent. If they have a March, I'm kind of tearing them between the desire to use it on Lair of the Hydra or the desire to fizzle my ability to make a cat token. If they want to March Katilda, they have to exile something. No. So they end up just going after the land that wasn't actually attacking. Alright. I feel relatively pleased about how I split up that attack. I don't know if it was the best, but I think I diversified things as best as possible. 1 mana? 1 mana, opponent? I don't know that you get to stay alive for 1 mana. Ooh, Felidar Retreat. It's probably not actually worth playing. Yeah, okay. This is a lot of flying threats. 'Tis true. Let's see. So I would have upticked Elspeth on the Esika's Chariot to give it flying and +1 power, meaning Katilda and Esika's Chariot are lethal. They can March Cave. Basically, they have to be able to March Esika's Chariot, or I guess any 1 mana removal spell for Esika's Chariot in that position. So I need to be like March plus exile 2 cards in order to stay alive there. I wonder if there's a better way to do that than attacking with the Esika's Chariot. So fire up Cave. Give Luminarch Aspirant flying. Put the Luminarch counter on Luminarch, so we're attacking with 5 power in the air. March 1 thing, block 1 thing. but they only need to march something for 1 mana. March 1 thing, block 1 thing. March Cave, block Plains. 3/2/2. Oh, that actually was better than Chariot, wasn't it? I can't think of any way for 1 mana they could get around that. If I'm attacking with a 3-power Luminarch in the air and a 2-power Katilda in the air. March, block, lethal. Yeah, that actually was just way better than firing up Chariot. Ooh, well, still good enough. Only put my opponent on having March plus 2 cards to exile in hand as an out, instead of putting my opponent on literally nothing as an out, which usually will still get there. Okay. Prosperous Innkeeper into Esika's Chariot sounds like a hand. Just throws them really hard. So hard they keep flying even after Elspeth's gone. Kodama, normally so good, but not necessarily synergistic with 2-drop into 4-drop dot game plan. We're actually potentially a little... Okay, I was gonna say feeling awkward about the lack of synergy with Kodama in this hand. I'm thinking that I'm actually supposed to just play Topiary Stomper here and storm the festival next turn against a white-black deck, rather than Esika's Chariot. And that feels weird to admit. Are we sick of the Angels deck? I feel like if they don't have Jada on 2, there's like not a lot to be sick of. I haven't yet seen it be like terribly impressive, I guess. Oh, hey, cool. Turn 4, 2 5-drops. Feels good.
Those who hunt the forest need trees. They prepare for war.
Yes, let's go ahead and give Prosperous Innkeeper reach. Well, flying. It's basically reach. It should be fairly hard for our opponent to kill our planeswalkers, then. Righteous Valkyrie. Yeah. That's a big Valkyrie. Ooh, they can almost make that Valkyrie big enough to attack. They can't, but they can almost do it. Alright, we got a bunch of lands. Seems good. How to do this, how to do this, how to do this. I feel like I should just maximize the number of creatures I have with reach.
Let's do this together.
Or pseudo reach. And then we just ultimate Elspeth and see what happens. Flying is a form of pseudo reach. None of what I said was wrong. Yeah, I mean, their stuff is big. Gets a lot bigger if they can pump one more thing. Okay. Well, they can't. So I'm just going to say that we hope they don't have a board wipe. And that 5/3/3 Angels is good.
The angels have returned. So you better.
It's more or less the plan. Ouch. Was really not wanting that to whiff. How am I supposed to get to the point where I ultimate this Storm the Festival if we just keep whiffing? Oh. I miscounted my lands. I should have zeroed Wrenn and gotten up to 10 mana for Storm the Festival next turn. Whoops. Oh well. Alright, Righteous Valkyrie goes off. Still not entirely certain whether they can make a profitable attack here in any way. Somehow. Like, we have the better board state. Yeah, Linvala makes things annoying. Ability to give the board indestructible is inconvenient. And yet, our board state is still better than theirs. Gonna make more giant tree folks.
The will of the woods is made manifest.
Gonna play lands. I'm gonna willingly sack my Esika's Chariot for more tree folks. Big trees. Well, opponent, my board's growing a lot faster than yours. What you gonna do about it? I would really like to find a Felidar Retreat right about now. Ooh, Liesa is moderately inconvenient. Eventually. Although if the opponent doesn't go about attacking and just assumes that they can win this by stalling out, they're going to be sorely disappointed. Alright, so for starters, land drop, Playstorm the Festival. There's our Felidar Retreat. I would like to hit this Wrenn, but oh well. And rest go on the bottom. I would like more basics still in my deck, please. So let's put a counter on everybody. Do I want to swing with everything? Would that be a good idea? How many creatures do they have? They have 8. I have 6 more than 8. Yeah, that's probably fine. Alright, 0 Wrenn.
The land lends us its power.
The time for math has passed. Now is the time for Flunge. We wanted to zero the Wrenn after casting the spell, because if we hit Felidar Retreat, we wanted to be able to get the triggers from zeroing the Wrenn. Do we think this is a bad attack? I feel like the fact that my 16/16s are bigger than their stuff makes this a good attack. I'm going to put a lot of lands into play. The Linvala definitely does complicate things. I'm going to lose a lot of creatures. They're not. They're going to put the Linvala back in hand and get to do it again. But they're going to take a lot of damage, and I'm going to make a lot of stuff. They can kill the rest of my board? That implies that they are able to kill the rest of my board. I'm not entirely convinced they can do that. I think my opponent has died. Like, bear in mind, we were going to get, like, 9 Felidar Retreat triggers off of that attack. So, like, the fact that they made all these blocks and still left us with this many creatures, we were going to put, like, 4 cats into play and give every creature +5/+5. They didn't block the tree folks, but again, everything has trample. Every creature on my side of the board had trample. How do the cats come? Because we have Kodama of the West Tree. So every single creature that's modified dealing damage puts a basic into play, and every single creature I controlled was modified. They get trample because Kodama gives them trample if they are modified, and every creature was modified. Alright, I assume I'm supposed to go like 4 Portable Hole and 2 Skyclave Apparitions and cut the Yasharns and cut the Prosperous Innkeepers and cut the Luminarch Aspirants, probably? I don't know. That feels mostly correct. How do I like the deck so far? It's fun. I don't know if it's like my style, and I'm unsure if it's hyper-competitive, but it definitely bullies Obnixilis players, and it's good at doing its thing, linearly. I think that it probably has a lot of room to be improved. Ah, yes. They also have Vigilance. They have basically every single keyword that was possible to have. Alright, I think I'm going to go with Tangled Florahedron over Emergent Sequence. We shall see whether that is something that I regret or not. I don't think my opponent's going to play a 3-mana interactive spell for my Tangled Florahedron, but maybe I wind up disappointed. Polarizing matchups in Standard? I don't know. I mean, it's pretty early. I don't really think matchups exist in Standard right now. Just because everything at the moment is prior to a metagame actually having shaken out. Matchups don't really exist until decks actually, like, have cohesive plans for one another. Here's a retribution. Oh no. They should be attacking me here. But I think they're going to choose not to. Which they will regret, because I will give Esika's Chariot first strike if they do that. Do I want to double block here? I can't really. That's a bummer. Alright. Opponent actually successfully trying to out-aggro me this time around. How do I do this in a way that doesn't result in my Elspeth dying? I don't know that I can, and also swing with Chariot. They also have Hive. Yeah, I don't know that I can keep... The problem is that because the Retribution is going on to the second mode here, I'll have one cat back to block this Elspeth, but they can just swing with both their creatures and then kill the cat before it blocks. So even a 6-mana or 6 loyalty Elspeth dies. No. Regrettably, I think we are on plan downtick Elspeth and hope for a removal spell.
You're safe now.
Alright, complete whiffs. We hit Topiary Stomper, is at least maybe almost something. So our Elspeth does still die, but at least we're putting some amount of power on the board that enables us to perhaps clock the opponent, maybe? Angels is one of those decks that's a lot like Dragons and Alchemy that I don't foresee being competitive because it is so inherently based on the strength of hitting 2-drop ramp spells that it inherently can't be consistent enough against. Or can't be consistent enough to find, rather. Yeah. This one I don't know that I'm beating. Oh, the Florahedron. Okay. That does mean that I can actually attack with Chariot at least. Ooh. Alright. I mean, Kodama doesn't actually do anything, but at least it doesn't do anything cutely. Is it correct to swing with cats to trade 1 cat for 2 damage? Yes. We do actually get to put a land into play here. Because Topiary Stomper is actually modified, because the shield counter is a shield. Or is a counter, rather. Did I just open myself up to lethal in the crackback? I did, but I can't really stop that. I mean, I guess I could block with Cave, but yeah. I can't really stop that. I guess I could not crew with Kodama. Because Kodama actually has reach. And then just chump block with Kodama. I don't particularly like that plan. But I guess the plan of hoping the opponent doesn't notice that they have lethal is also unlikely. Mostly we found no interaction, which is not where we want to be. Does a Counter Stomper gets blocked and loses the shield before it connects? I believe it does not count. I believe that still counts. I believe it does the damage while it's modified. Yeah, I don't think this deck can play the red mana. And, like, we have no real need for more card advantage. If I wanted to play more card advantage, I would play Storm the Festival and Wrenn and Seven. Showdown of the Skalds also requires you to play a lower curve, and this deck is not about low curve. Showdown of the Skalds and 4-drops don't really synergize. So, I don't think Showdown is good for this deck, and I don't think that we could afford to play it. There we go. Alright, now we're talking. Alright, no 2-drop opponent. No 2-drop? I'll be disappointed if I have to play Kodama and Portable Hole. No 2-drop one time. No. Bummer. No. Boop. Boop. All right, well. Righteous Valkyrie. Kodama, that's totally useless. How disappointing. I would really quite prefer to draw a land here so my Topiary Stomper can attack. Linvala, pretty inconvenient. Alright. Elspeth's probably still pretty good. How do we want to do this?
Job is an opportunity to learn more about this city.
Do I just give the Kodama first strike and swing? I think it's Kodama first strike and swing.
Be brave.
So, like, they can double block and lose the Righteous Valkyrie in order to stop me from getting a land here. Or they can do nothing, and then I get a land here, and that frees up Topiary Stomper. So they can put a counter on something in order to kill Elspeth, and then leave them open to a backswing that gets pumped by Katilda and has me just going totally absolutely ham. Or they can choose not to do that and not kill the Elspeth. Okay. So, let's see. First strike. Currently... I don't believe they have a way to kill either of my creatures here. Although they may make blocks forgetting that Katilda has an activated ability. Yeah, I think I just want to activate this ability. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of counters on everything. Fair. Nice to know when the game plan is functioning, we successfully outgrow the Angels deck.